Okay, so today, the second day of our phonics will always be syllabication. So these are words that are not on our spelling list, but we practice these words that are kind of big and kind of hard, and we learn how to tackle them, and we learn how to syllabicate. When we syllabicate, what that means is we chunk them, we break them into chunks, okay? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do probably these first four for you, and then you're going to do the last four on your own, and then you'll check them with me. So this is what I want you to do. If you have a marker board and a marker or a piece of paper and a pencil, you need to have something like that out. So get that out, please. And you're going to write down all of these words, and you want to give yourself some space. You see how much space I have in the white? And I'm going to go ahead and just do Yukon for you so that you can see how much space you're going to need, okay? So follow with me here. Just watching. You're just watching. So when I come to a word I do not know, I can find out that this is probably a name. It's a proper noun because I see a capital Y, but it doesn't help me figure out what the word says. So the first thing I do is look for what I know. I don't see any magic E. I don't see any suffixes, prefixes. I don't see any consonant LE. So now I'm ready to just label my vowels. Once I label my vowels, I build my bridge, and I count my consonants. When I only have one consonant, the rule is always front first. Okay, I make a dotted line because I'm not sold that this is where the line needs to go. I'm just kind of testing it out, okay? All right, so we go front first, and then we just kind of test it out. So now I'm going to pretend like the K-O-N isn't there anymore. All I have is Y-U. I have to decide if this is an open or a closed syllable. Well, it is an open syllable because there is nothing after the U, okay? It's wide open. It can be stretched out as far and wide and long as it wants. So my U gets a long line because it is long and it says its name. It says U, okay? So now I can look at K-O-N. Well, this is a closed syllable because there is a consonant after my vowel. That makes my O say its short sound, ah. So this says Yukon. Yukon. Is that a word you've ever heard before? I mean, it sounds right to me. So now I can make my dotted line a solid line. But if I hadn't liked it, I could have moved my line and started over, okay? But I like the way this sounds. I think this says Yukon. All right, kiddo, so now that you see how much room that you're going to need, go ahead. I want you to write down the rest of these words. Get a pencil on a marker board with a marker, whatever works for you, but you need to have these written down somewhere because we're going to go through them, okay? So pause this video and get that done. All right, kiddos, if you have pushed play, that means you have these words written down and you are ready to syllabicate. Okay, so I see another word. It's kind of a funny looking word, a big word. Maybe I don't know how to say it. So I need to look for what I know. Well, what I see that can help me is this consonant LE ending. It says dual, right? That helps me. I can circle it. Now that it's been circled, I pretend like it doesn't exist for just a little bit, right? While I do the rest. Okay, I don't see anything else that I know. So I got to start off with labeling my vowels, building my bridge, and counting my consonants. Now remember what we just did in Yukon. When I have one vowel, I go front first, okay? So once I go front first, I want to pretend like nothing after it exists because it's easier for me to decide if it's open or closed if I don't have to look at anything that's not supposed to be there. And right now, F-U-D, I don't need it. I'm not looking at it, so I pretend like it doesn't exist. So all I have right now is B-E. I know that this is an open syllable because there is nothing after my vowel. My vowel is wide open, okay? It can stretch as long and far and wide as it wants to. So it says it's a long sound, its name, which is E. So this says B, okay? All right, now I can look at the F-U-D. I know that this is a closed syllable because there is a consonant after the vowel. My U is kind of squished in. It makes it short sound. It says So this says be fud dual. But wait, be fud dual. Am I going to make that D sound 2 times? No, I only make that D sound 1 time. So I cross out the first D because I don't make that one sound. So I say befuddle, befuddle. Okay? If you need to pause to catch up with me, that's fine. Oh, and now that I like this word, befuddle, I can make my line solid because I'm going to keep it that way. When you are befuddled, you are confused. Okay? You are confused. All right, let's look at this next one. Is there anything in this word that we see? Okay, well, I see in, which is a prefix. Okay, it means not, into, or I'm going to put opposite of. Now, let's pretend that you did not know that in was a prefix. That's fine. We can work without it, okay? So I think I might see a magic E at the end, but I don't want to jump yet, okay? So I'm going to start with my vowels, build my bridge, count my consonants, and when I have 2 consonants, I go right down the middle. This is closed. It makes I say I because there's a consonant right after the vowel. So it says in. All right, I see another vowel. So I put my vowel there, build my bridge, count my consonant. Okay, I only have 1 consonant. So what's the rule? Front first. Okay, right now I'm going to pretend like none of that exists. CU. It is open because there is nothing after my vowel. My vowel is wide open, okay? So it makes its long sound. It says U. So right now I have NQ. Let's see what else I know. Well, I have another vowel, but what do you notice? VCE. My E jumps, makes the A say its name. The E loses its voice. So we have a dotted line, which means that it can be moved. So let's decide if we need to move it or not. Incubate. 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 It's a word. When you incubate something, you're kind of growing it, okay? Like think about a baby chick, okay? We put them in incubators. And in the incubators, what they do is their eggs grow and they get to stay warm as if their mama were still with them. So incubate is a word, okay? And this is the correct way to code it. All right, this is the last one I'm going to do for you, and then you're going to do the other side on your own. All right, first thing I do is see what I know. There's actually a lot in this word I know. I know that sub is a prefix, and it means under. And I also see a consonant LE ending. So the only thing I have left, kiddos, is TI. So all I have to ask myself, is that open or is that closed? It's open because there's no, look, remember, this is circled, so I don't pay attention to it right now. There is no consonant after this vowel. So that I is, oh, sorry, that's the wrong sign. So this I is long and it says its name. So it says subtitle. Subtitle. Have you ever heard that before? Yeah. Let's pretend you didn't know that sub was a prefix. That's totally fine. I can still walk through my steps. Find my vowels, build my bridge, count my consonants, and divide down the middle because there's 2. This still says because it is a closed syllable, and that still says tie because it's an open syllable. It just saves us some steps when we start to recognize our prefixes because we can box them off and it's one less thing we have to do, okay? All right, kiddos, so this is what you're going to do. You are going to go through these next 4 words on your own, okay? Then you're going to come back and you're going to check with me, okay? So pause this video and please do the next 4 words on your own. All right, kiddos, if you have pushed play, it's because you have done those words on your own. You're ready to check them. All right, first thing I do is look if there's anything I know. I don't see any prefixes. I don't see any suffixes. I don't see any consonant LE. So I'm ready to dive in and label my first 2 vowels, which is A and I. When I build my bridge and I count my consonants, I have 2, and that's an easy one because I go straight down the middle. I pretend that nothing else over here exists, right? Because I'm just looking at FAB right now. Sorry. Kiddos, I lost it. Give me just a second and I'll get it pulled back up, okay? Okay, sorry, kiddos. I exited off really quickly, but I found it and we are good to go. Okay, so I pretend that everything after FAB doesn't exist, right? And I'm left with just this FAB right here. I have to decide if it's open or closed. It is closed because I have a consonant after the vowel, so my A is short. It says ah, so this says fab, okay? All right, let's keep going. I see another vowel, A, so I go through my steps again. Build my bridge, count my consonants. Okay, do you remember what is the rule when there's only one consonant? Front first. Very good. Okay, so again, I pretend that the rest of the word doesn't exist, and I'm just looking at this RI. Is that open or closed? It is open because there's no consonant after the vowel, okay? All right. Then I have another vowel, but what do you notice about it? It's the VCE. It's a magic E. The A says its name. The E loses its voice. Okay, so we have a dotted line, so we have to check it. It says fabricate. Fabricate. Excuse me. Fabricate. 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 What do you guys think? Okay, this is actually the correct way to code it. We have a bad habit in the South of saying fabricate, but it's really fabricate. Okay, we fabricate. Okay, but we say it weird. So this is correct, but that's okay. All right, let's look at the next one. Do you see anything we can circle, box, anything like that? But what you do see, what you may have struggled with, which is okay, is look at how many consonants are on this bridge. It's a lot, right? I have N, D. We know that TH go together always. They only count as one, and R. 4 consonants on this bridge. How many am I allowed to have? 2. I have to scoop and group. Okay, so let's talk about what do you think can be scooped and grouped here? What have you seen on a card together? What makes sense to go together naturally? Well, the first thing I'm going to scoop and group is thir, thir, thir. That is a blend. It's a 3-letter blend. We see it on a card. But now, kiddos, I still have 1, 2, 3 consonants. How many do I have to have? 2. So I'm also going to scoop and group ND, nd. That is an ending blend, a 2-letter ending blend. ND blends together to say nd. So now I only have 2 consonants, and I can go right down the middle, okay? Don't let a lot of consonants in one spot freak you out, okay? Because it's totally doable. You just have to really, really think about what goes together. What can I scoop and group together, okay? All right, it says open or closed. It's closed. The E is short. It says eh because I've got those 2 consonants after it. Is this open or closed? It is closed. The I says eh because I have the 2 consonants after it. So my word is spendthrift. Spendthrift. Okay? All right. Oh, no, not last one, but pretty close. The last 2 are pretty simple, okay? Do you see anything here we can box or circle? Well, I see a consonant LE ending, and that tells me that it's always going to say dual, right? I can pretend for right now that it doesn't exist while I work through the rest of my word. GRID. I don't see any more vowels, so now I'm ready to decide, is this open or closed? This is closed because I have a consonant after my vowel, so my I says I. So I have grid, dual, but uh-oh. Am I going to make that D sound 2 times? No, I do not make the first D sound. It is silent. So it says griddle, griddle, okay? All right, last one. What do you see? We can circle PLE. Do you see any other vowels? What can I do to the rest of this? Figure out if it's open or closed. This is closed because there is a consonant after my vowel. My E makes it short sound. It says eh. So this says temple. temple. Okay, you guys are rock stars. Look at that. Some of these are really big words. Like this is a big word. This is a big word. This is a big word. This is a funny looking word. Okay. You guys did a really, really good job. What you're doing is you're learning all of these skills to help you when you come to a word you don't know in your reading. So the next time you guys are reading through a book and you come across a word that you do not know, I want you to think about this strategy, okay? All right, so one thing I do want to show you is your spelling list for this week. Just because we didn't go over spelling words today doesn't mean you're not still studying your spelling words, okay? This is something you should still be doing, all right? So make sure you're studying. Again, my in-class kiddos, your test will be Friday. My at-home or my virtual kiddos, your test will be Monday. Okay, kiddos? I cannot wait to see you for our next lesson.